Hey, what's happening, YTBC? It's me coming at you again with another vid. Now, before I begin proceeding with this video, I want to like to say to everyone out there, and to all my subscribers and all my commenters and all the guys that I've got to know, very good and sensible guys and great debaters. I would like to say, a wish you a happy, wonderful new year. We're going to 2016. Let's make the best of it. Just look at it as if we got to start all over again, but in a positive light. So I want to wish all you guys a safe and happy new year. Okay. Now, I seen that a couple guys on the YTBC, I think it's 978 Diplomats 34, and Sean Noon had reported this. So props to them. Um, so I thought I'd add my 2 cents into this as well. So recently, the news had broke. I think it broke 2 days ago, or yesterday actually, that Gennady Golovkin's camp had reached out to Billy Joe Saunders' camp, which is through Box Nation in the UK. It talks for unification fight. Now, this article is written up by Dan Raphael of ESPN, and what I'll do is this: I'm going to read you the more significant quotes from the article, and then I'm going to respond to it, add my thoughts on how this might play out. Okay. So it says here, quote, Golovkin might have a chance to add another world title, which is number 3, to his collection, as his promoter, Tom Loeffner of K2 Promotions, and Frank Warner, the promoter of Box Nation for title holder Billy Joe Saunders, have begun discussing a possible deal for the unification fight to take place in April that would headline an HBO televised card and take place in the United States. Now, this is a quote from Loeffner. He said here that we have made a significant offer to Frank Warren as it's still Gennady's priority to unify all the middleweight titles. The unification fight with Billy Joe Saunders will be at the top of the list for the next fight. They are interested, but no response yet. Okay, so we all know that Golovkin holds the interim belt for the WBC right now, and the reason why they're in talks with Billy Joe is because the mandatory bout between him and Canelo Alvarez has been put off to next year, which I found that was ludicrous. But besides the point, we got to move on. Both camps have agreed to that, so so both Gennady and Canelo will be fighting voluntary challenges until they build up the fight as they want to build it up to be for next year. So obviously, I guess what they're trying to do from a strategic standpoint is trying to build that fight up um, to a climatic stage, as if it was like the Mayweather Pacquiao, which it took damn nearly got years to get done. But I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to do, but it could be that's the case because a lot of people are anticipating for this fight to be made. So I mean, could it do as numbers as high as Pacquiao and Mayweather pay-per-view fights? I think he can. But as far as revenue-wise, I don't think it'll go that far, but we'll see. But let me get back to the meat and potatoes of this article. Now, Frank Warren had to respond to this, and well, before I get to the Frank Warren quotes, Lofter went further to say that, you know what, Saunders just had a big win over Andy Lee. Okay? Now, this fight would generate a lot of worldwide interest, which I don't know about that. But however, Golovkin would have hoped that he had fight Andy Lee because Andy Lee has fought regularly here in the United States, and he is a well-known name when it comes to the Irish fan base. So that fight would have made a lot more sense, and I thought it would be a lot more interesting if Lee would have won, if you ask me. So now that Saunders has won that fight against Andy Lee, we all know now that he is a target to Gennady Golovkin. So now this is what Frank Warren had to say about this. He said here, quote, we have been in communication with Gennady Golovkin's people and who have approached us with a firm offer of a unification fight with Triple G. Look, I know that Billy Joe has intimid I can't pronounce his word correctly. Forgive me here, guys. Intimidate. Oh, hold up. Intimidate. There we go. Intimidate. There we go. Intimidated. I don't know if that's the right word that Raphael wrote in his article. But I'm going ahead and paraphrase it because I don't understand why would you even make the cite this word. But anyways, it says here, quote, that I know Billy Joe has indicated. There you go. I think that's what Raphael may have wanted to write in this piece, but whoever the editor who cut the quote may have missed it. But But anyways, it says here that I know Billy Joe has indicated that he may not be quite ready for this fight, but money talks louder than anything in boxing, and such are the sums involved. It is one certainly worth considering. We'll be sitting down to talk about the future with Billy Joe once he has enjoyed his break. I mean, he has a lot of really, really tasty options out there, and whatever happens, we will come up with something, something really special. Now, I'll leave it at there. Now, if this fight happens to take place, and if it does, great, so be it. I mean, I have to give my hats off to Golovkin because as much as the criticism as he's gotten from me and from other people, especially from a lot of his detractors, you got to give the man props for even to trying to stay active, man. You got to give him props for trying to unify the division. All right, so if this fight does get made, then so be it. I'll be for it, and obviously, I'll break it down stylistically, and I'll pick out I'll predict who's going to win this fight. But obviously, it'll be no brainer that Golovkin is going to win it. So obviously, because he has the attributes, he has the strength, he has the size, he has the boxing ability to destroy, to run through Billy Joe. So, it won't be much of a breakdown to. It won't take too much time to break that down. But if it doesn't happen, we can't see other options. I know there's been talks about Golovkin fighting Tureano Johnson, which I think that'd be a much more interesting fight because Tureano Johnson is a very big middleweight, and he does have size. He does have decent speed. He does have great power. But the problem with Johnson is that he is very, very vulnerable when it comes to leaving himself wide open. His punch resistance not bad. It's just that he needs to work on his technique a bit more, and he loads up way too much. So he just gotta really, really learn how to fight in spurts rather than loading up on shots all the damn time. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. But that would be an interesting fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Now there was also rumors about Danny Jacobs being a possible candidate for Golovkin because there was talks about the WBA trying to sanction or mandate that fight, but we all know that Jacobs came out and said, "Well, I got to talk to my team, but I'm gonna want at least $4 million. Was it $3 million for that fight?" Okay. See, when I'm talking about these Al Heyman fighters, they're always pricing themselves out when they're asked about fighting high profile and tough fighters. They always price themselves out, meaning they don't really want the fight. They always use that the old Al Heyman saying is like, I'm going to give you the highest reward for a very low risk fight, and this seems like most of these fighters want to do nowadays because it seems like they don't have the pedigree or the competitive nature like the old school fighters did back in the day. So I know I'm getting off topic here a little bit, but my main point is this again is that if the fight does get made, so be it. You can't hate Golovkin for unifying. You cannot hate on him for doing that. All right. And once he does knock out Billy Joe Saunders, which I do predict he does, if the fight does get made, which is slated for April, I don't want to hear nobody come on here talking about, oh, he beat up another bum, you know, Billy Joe Saunders, that fight should never have been made, blah, blah, blah. Well, newsflash, motherfuckers. First of all, Billy Joe Saunders beat a tougher than nails Andy Lee, okay? Now, if Andy Lee would have won that fight, he would have been slated to fight Golovkin, okay? And Andy Lee wanted to fight Golovkin, but he lost, all right? This is the same Billy Joe Saunders that beat Chris Eubank Jr., another top middleweight, all right? And by the way, Chris Eubank Jr., I think he is slated to fight Danny Jacobs. So we'll see how that turns out. All right. Now, again, if this happens to be made, I'll be looking forward to it. I can't hate Golovkin for trying to unify the division. So once he beats Saunders, it'll be the third belt that he collects. Now, all is left now is to Canelo Alvarez. And now, Canelo, I got something to say to you. All right. Don't be a coward. Don't be using this 155 catchweight bullshit just to get a fight made, okay? Be a man, man up, and fight the guy at 160. I know I criticized Golovkin for trying to play the weight game, too, when he said that Floyd would be the only fighter that he'll go down to 154 to fight, yet he won't fight Canelo at 155, and he will approach Warrior 164 catchweight, and, whatnot. So it is what it is. We're going to move on from that. So let me know what you think about this. Drop a comment below, share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.